Welcome back to the Legends Comicast, the only Comicast on the net dedicated to having opinions on things. So yeah, we're the only ones that do that. So if anybody else, if you go out there and you're finding people are like, "Oh, we have all these opinions on stuff. Let's start a podcast." We trademark that. It's
And
ours.
we will sue them, 100%.
Yeah. Other things that we've trademarked. We trademarked the internet a long time ago. Dial-up. What else?
That one didn't go so well.
Lamps, like lamps that you can for light. That's ours. And question marks. Those are all ours.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
any of those usage, if you know, you look at the bottom, you'll see our name. Anywho, welcome back to the Legends Comicast. We're pretty pumped. This is our 37th episode, or whatever it happens to be at this point. We're running out of numbers here. But this is a very special the Legends Comicast because this week we decided we're going to do it right. We're going to try. We're going to go hard.
Yeah.
And we slapped all this together in about 15 minutes. So give us a shot here. That's working hard for us. So let me start by doing what we always do. I'm going to introduce the cast. I am the host, Nicholas Isolde. On the cast here we have Chris Bird.
That's me.
Garrick Cyborg Gilmore.
Hi.
And Jordan Seth Roach.
How's it going?
Newly engaged.
Actually, can I interrupt to ask a question to you guys who read DC Comics?
Mhm.
You said Cyborg, and it reminded me. Is it true that he's back? Is he Cyborg again? Has he been repaired?
I think it's going to happen in an upcoming issue. He's supposed to be back in. They're like rebuilding him and bringing back the Metal Men and stuff. You know, Jeff Johns, he'll kill character and bring it back and say he did it, but.
Way to spoil it, guys. Way to spoil it.
Hey, I don't think we're sponsored by anyone today. So you know what? We're sponsoring ourselves. So hats off to us. Good job, us. I mean, a lot of people didn't think that we could sponsor our own non-profit podcast that makes no money or provides nothing of any kind to anyone, but we did it. You know,
Mhm.
so
We got there.
yeah, we dreams can come true. So thank you guys for all your support again. On the bottom of the page, you guys will see all the info that you need to know about the comic book podcast that we run weekly, Thursdays, 8 p.m. At the very bottom, there's the donate to Deadpool button. If you feel so inclined, you have a couple dollars in your pocket, go ahead and give them to us. That way we can improve things. Some of the things that we have coming down the pipeline are going to be pretty cool, but they're also going to be directly out of our pocket. So any donations that we get will help make things like video reviews, green screen, all kinds of different stuff that we want to get going on happen quicker. So if you guys are able to help us out, if not, no big deal. Not a problem with us.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. On the picture you guys will see on the screen, or if you're just listening and you don't want to look at pictures, or maybe even if you're listening and you're blind, sorry. There's Garrick slapped together a sweet banner today that has all of the info for the cast. Social media is apparently catching on. It's a pretty big thing.
We're going to go ahead and trademark that as well.
Yeah, we started Facebook, so that's a thing. We're on Facebook at the Legends Comicast. We're on Twitter at LegendsCast. We're on YouTube at the Legends Comicast and Instagram at the Legends Comicast. Don't want to brag. We started the Instagram account like 5 days ago. Already have 30 followers. Only 2 or 3 of them are direct friends of us. So that's pretty solid.
What Instagram was when we started it. So we're going places.
Yeah. We're planning on starting a Zanga page. A MySpace page. What else is out there?
A Tumblr page, maybe one of those.
Tumbling pages. We'll do that. Yeah, we're gonna start a DOS page too, just where you can enter command prompt, and Jordan will have a series of beeps and boops there that you can listen to. But I guess that's it. This week we'll talk about our giveaways a little bit later. But they are, again, provided by us. So all you have to do, ask some cool questions. We'll pick somebody at random later on because the commenting thing apparently is killing people. No one's leaving us comments. It's hurting our feelings. It's driving our desire to do this down.
We have
And
literally received more emails and personalized text messages than we have comments on the internet, which is really all the internet is good for.
People hate free stuff.
Yeah.
They must.
people out there that listen to our podcast have sent me more carrier ravens than they have actual YouTube comments. So, anywho, go ahead and leave us a comment, ask us a question, do what you got to do. It's not too hard to win free stuff from us. We'll be honest, we're all rich anyway. I mean, haven't you heard of the patents that we have? The internet, lamps, things of that nature.
Probably Google
Google,
or
we
something.
started, yeah, it was actually used to be called, never mind. I can't think of anything funny. All right. All right, so do you guys want to go ahead and just start with TV and film news? Because we got a lot of information to roll through.
hmm
Might as well.
All right,
Superman and
cool.
Batman.
All right, so first piece of news, action item. I'm going to give you guys a high-level overview. So Superman versus Batman, or tentatively what I think it's probably going to be titled, Terrible Film, was pushed back to 2016. So let's talk, gentlemen. I'm gonna hand the reins over to the first person that speaks up. But what do you guys think's going on here?
Um, well, I mean, I've heard a couple of different rumors. Everything from Ben Affleck hurt himself. I guess he hurt his ribs. To I read earlier today that he had just been threatening to quit. That it's going to interfere with some other movie he was wanting to direct. So, either way, all of the rumors I've heard about this being pushed back seem to point the finger straight at old Ben Affleck.
Wow, I actually hadn't heard anything about that, which is weird. I just heard that they wanted more time to like flesh out the story, um,
Mm.
which I
That's
think
the
is a good. I think it's a good thing because with the way that the internet has been responding to like every single solitary piece of casting rumors and I mean, listen, if you go back and listen to our podcast, every single time we're talking about this movie or some aspect of it, like they need time, I think, to craft a good, make sure this script is on point, make sure they're doing the right things and put things in place. And I think they probably just they walked into the bathroom one morning and they went, hey movie, I don't think we can do this. I think we need a little bit more time. Like you're moving in, like it was cool when you brought your toothbrush over that one time, and that's fine. But now every time I come into the room or my house, like I'm finding candles, I'm finding like your backpack and sneakers and stuff, and like you're slowly moving all of your stuff in, and I feel like I don't have any room to breathe. So why don't we take a little bit of time and we'll figure this thing out together as a team because I want this to work, you know? But I can't do that when you're smothering me with these time
So,
constraints.
so I know that it's only a rumor that Ben Affleck might quit or he's hurt. But I mean, would that bother you guys? We'd kind of talked about all the animosity Ben Affleck got or that the movie got when he was announced. If he did quit this script, if Ben Affleck let himself go or was let go, would that be good for the movie?
I don't think so. I've already
Yeah.
wrapped my head around this whole Ben Affleck thing, and I've decided that it's great. And
Yeah.
I don't want somebody else to be Batman. And now I've already decided that he's Batman in my mind. It's
So
a
I agree.
go.
Yeah, I agree with Garrick. It took me a while to warm up to it, and now that I've finally accepted it, the last thing that I want at this point is more change. So I don't think I'd be very happy with Ben Affleck moving away from the project.
Plus, we
Now
established that he's a great actor, so
let's talk for a second about the the timeline here and all the news that's been announced. Like we'll hit a couple topics here in a few minutes, but they in a very short amount of time, they really did. I mean, they blew their balloon up pretty big. They announced right after Man of Steel came out and had a semi decent showing. They were like, "Yeah, we're doing a Batman Superman movie, and we're gonna put Wonder Woman in it, and we're gonna cast the maybe The Rock, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and it's gonna have $1 billion budget and all these crazy things." Do you think maybe they're like, how are we realistically going to get all this stuff done?
yeah, that
I
might
mean,
be some part of it.
I
I'm just really upset that they're pushing it back. I guess if it's the end result is going to be better than what we're going to get next year, I'm fine with it as long as the movie's good or profits from waiting a year. I think
yeah.
it's the right move. But if they could
There's
make the
nothing
same movie,
worse. there's nothing worse than when like a video game or a movie or something is pushed back and then it sucks.
Then it's
Like
still
Right.
Yeah.
it's still terrible. Like push it back and get the right people involved. Like form a brain trust here and like figure out how to make Superman and Batman work in the same film and I mean figure the thing out because these are two characters that people are literally like when I start thinking about this really hard, I get nosebleeds. That's how excited I am for it. And if they screw this up for me, I will probably do something irrational, like I don't know, swear
But
off a
they
film for
also pushed back far enough that they're now competing with some Marvel movie time slot that apparently Marvel has had locked down for a long time. I mean, does that make sense to you? Do you think it's a good idea for DC to try to compete with the insane amounts of money and viewers that Marvel movies have come to attract?
honestly.
depends on what the
E-
movie looks like,
And
you
is
know?
this the movie to do it with? I mean, there's a lot of
I feel like it has to be the movie. It's their
Yeah.
two biggest characters. If they can't sell tickets for Batman versus Superman, they're not going to sell tickets for anything.
Yeah, you're
But they
not
don't
going to put a
have to
Green
compete.
Arrow
They
and
could
Green
throw this
Lantern
at
movie
like
out there.
any other movie time slot and just not be competing with a major Marvel movie.
I don't
I mean,
know.
when it comes to that, I think like having a DC movie and a Marvel movie releasing on the same day would create like such a media firestorm that it would be good news for both sides.
I guess so.
So I personally think it's brilliant.
That's probably that makes sense to me.
There's also going to be a huge thing
In
with
my
like who
mind,
made the most money the first weekend. It's like,
well,
Yeah.
the Marvel movie's probably going to, I guess.
meh. I don't know. There's
I mean,
there's
if
not
you
going to
had
be
to
any
choose
DC movies
between,
in theaters for 3 years, unless you count the Lego movie. That's a
you do.
long time. So people are going to
That
be
is a long
excited,
time.
I feel like. The only thing that I'm worried about with this movie is they're pushing it back, which I think is going to be a good thing so they get all their ducks in a row. But the only problem I think might occur is they might have like a Spider-Man 3 kind of problem where there's just too much stuff and they're not going to be able to realistically fit it all into one movie. So
Agreed.
every time I hear like Wonder Woman is going to be in the movie, maybe Aquaman and like all this stuff, it's just concerning that they're not going to be able to do it right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would love for them to figure out a way to keep this movie centered around Batman and Superman, and maybe have if they're dead set on having these extra characters in there, have them show up as like Easter eggs or something like that, you know. But you don't have to. I mean, you really don't want to run into that overstimulate the audience, put too much stuff in there because then you're going to run into that Spider-Man 3 fiasco. But um, next topic of discussion for film and TV news is the Fantastic Four reboot was just announced that the script is complete and they're almost, I mean, they're starting casting now for it. Um, what are you guys' feelings on Fantastic Four reboot?
I think this movie is going to be a mess. Everything that I've heard so far about it, I'm not a big fan of. This is going to sound probably kind of weird, but I'm not a big fan of the idea of a black Human Torch. I'm not a big fan
Racist.
of it. It is a little bit.
That's wildly racist.
I agree with Jordan.
But
I
also
agree.
I also agree with you. Like it, if we talked about this in a previous podcast, where like there's some characters that changing the ethnicity of the character changes the character, and how are you going to have a white Susan Storm and a black Johnny Storm and never address it when he was
I-
never black in the
I think
comics?
that's basically right. And my only concern is that anytime the one thing in these movies that I feel needs to be at least recognizable or accurate are the characters. The rest of the stuff that centers around them, I don't really care. But the characters are ultimately what I'm going to watch this movie for. And this just isn't a character I've ever watched.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd heard a rumor that what is it, Kit Harington, the guy who plays Jon Snow, might be playing Mr. Fantastic. Has anyone
Yeah.
else?
I've heard
I've
that,
seen
yeah.
those.
Is he a little
seen
too
those
young?
rumors. Actually, both Rob Stark and Jon Snow are both up for the same role.
Dang.
So like it would be really interesting to see if maybe they
I think
take
we
those
know how
two
it
guys and they put them in there. Like they put them in one's Reed Richards, one's John or Johnny Storm or something like that. But they're casting. I mean, they're definitely looking at a younger cast for this Fantastic Four movie, which is another pain point. Like I don't want to watch the teenage years of the Fantastic Four. I want to watch the Fantastic Four do fantastic stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Ultimate Fantastic Four stuff had a like a younger cast, and it was okay. It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
It did bring about Marvel Zombies, which at first was pretty cool, and then became, I think, one of the biggest mistakes the Marvel Universe made. It's
Marvel
got obnoxious.
Zombies.
So
Also, Ultimate Reed Richards is a crazy person. I don't know how that work out.
Mm.
so who do you guys think are going to be your who would you love to see in these roles?
Hmm.
Dang, you're just gonna drop this on us like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I'd love
I-
to see Johnny Depp play all four.
He'd
If I
make-
can see my dream
make a
movie,
lovely Susan Storm, that's for sure.
he would.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
I'd
Honestly,
like
I
to
have
see
no
it.
idea.
Yeah, either do I. I mean, I think it's probably because the idea of a new Fantastic Four movie is making my skin crawl because of how bad they messed up the last ones,
and
and the
yeah, and
fact
that's
there's
the thing. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Fantastic Four movie that's out of the hands of Fox and will actually
yeah.
be good. That's what I'm asking for.
I want to see
Puts-
everything out of the hands of Fox,
'Cause
so we can
I
have one
actually,
continuity. That's what I want
with
to
the
see.
exception of Jessica Alba, I actually liked the original cast for the Fantastic Four. Um,
I didn't like the Jim Henson looking thing. Like I would have really liked a CGI
but I
thing.
feel like that was a Fox call. That's
Yeah.
Fox's low budget. Let's just ride on the tailcoats or the coattails of freaking Marvel Studios making actual money.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'd go as far to say that the first Fantastic Four movie wasn't terrible. It was watchable. The second one was horrible, but the first one was watchable. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I think that we don't have a lot of strong thoughts around it.
We're all just
Uh,
kind of like,
know,
meh.
we
Yeah.
it's weird because like you hear all these rumors and I think that it's the one project that is film and comic book related that just nobody's really asking for right now. Like it's we still have a bitter taste in our mouth, and having the same creative company behind an asset trying to relaunch their own property when it failed so miserably. It's not like Sony. Like people forget, Amazing Spider-Man was rebooted, but they had two awesome films and one utter disaster under their belt. So they didn't have a whole lot of work to bring the character of Spider-Man back into the good graces of fans. But I mean, they produced like the animated show
Also, it's freaking
was never
Spider-Man. Let's let
was
that
never that
in.
great. The Fantastic Four movies were terrible. They don't
Ugh.
really have a presence in the video game world. They're comic books right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's they need some building time for this property, and I don't think they're making the right decisions. I understand the desire to take a property and milk it for all it's worth, but at the risk of destroying a franchise that can make billions of dollars. I mean, with the Fantastic Four has so many
I
rich
think you're
stories with
asking
Galactus.
something of Fox Studios that we know is never going to happen. They
Yeah.
they don't care about these characters. They don't care that you like comic books.
Yeah, I
They
feel
saw
like
how much money the Avengers made. They'd like a little piece of that, and they're not going to let this license go until they have to.
if Disney had this license, they would just calm it down, let all the other stuff blow over, and then give Fantastic Four the like spotlight for a whole year. But Fox is just rushing it, and I'm not excited at all. I
And
mean, I'll
it
go see it, but
sucks.
I'll.
Like the space traveling Fantastic Four are, I think, the perfect character set for the current like Marvel Cinematic Universe, where technology is
Absolutely.
magic. The lines are blurring, and space travel is clearly the direction it's going in. And now we get nothing like that because freaking Fox.
All
Thanks,
I want to
Fox.
see, all I want to see is Reed Richards have like a sciencey conversation with Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, and I'm never going to because of Sony
In
or Fox. Excuse
6
me.
Yeah.
years, you might.
Maybe, probably
All I
not.
want to see is a Doctor Doom that's actually threatening,
Yeah, and not
guy
the worst
from
thing ever.
not the
Kinda
guy
wealthy,
from the
nerdy.
plastic surgery show on FX. Like, no, thank you, dude. All right, next topic is Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. Gadot. Okay,
Gal
first thing.
Gadot.
Yeah, well, she needs to clear that up before she gets back in my good graces. Maybe just change your name, Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
That's easier for me to say, and I don't screw it up. Um, She is she just recently I think she kind of ran her mouth a little bit, which probably isn't the best thing, but she's beautiful, so she gets away with it. She said that in an interview with Vanity that she is signed for three appearances at Wonder Woman, one in Batman versus Superman, one in the Justice League film, and one in a solo Wonder Woman movie. And she even went as far as to tell people her salary, how much she's making for her Batman and Superman role, which is $300,000, which is a shitload of money, right? But people are like, "Wow, that's not a lot of money." Oh, that's cool. You know what you could buy with $300,000?
Me.
Literally anything.
Me.
You could purchase me. So anyone listening, that is the
Um,
donation level for me to be given away.
I've
so
read.
they seemed pretty confident in her to sign her for three movies. What are you guys thinking about this?
I'm thinking uh, that she's not going to have a gigantic role in Superman versus Batman, considering she's only making $300,000
Exactly.
compared to the salary that the other two are probably making millions.
Right.
So this Justice League movie, I guess, is confirmed now,
Hmm.
or semi quasi confirmed. That's good to know. And the solo Wonder Woman movie we all wanted is also kind of confirmed, so that's exciting.
But I
I still don't know if she's
hopefully
the
a
best
movie that comes
choice,
out before
but
the Justice League.
what?
Hopefully that's a movie that comes out before the Justice League.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah.
it desperately needs to.
Yeah.
I think she needs to eat a few cheeseburgers. She needs to put some weight on. She's way too skinny
Yeah,
and
she said
small
in a
and
bunch
dainty
of
looking.
yeah, she said in a bunch of interviews that she was actually working on putting on some weight and getting in the gym, but hopefully she does get a lot bigger because Wonder Woman is not small by any stretch of the imagination.
I really have I want to take what, we've been saying here and maybe not necessarily reverse my stance, but I want to make it a point that I really hope that she's good. Because if she isn't, she's done.
Yeah.
Like her
Yeah,
career
that's the
in
other
that
thing.
point, people are gonna fucking hate her. And like she has amazing potential. She's a beautiful woman. She's clearly a semi decent actress. She's getting pretty good roles and she's making a lot of money. But like if she doesn't fit the role and doesn't make it work, it's going to be a nightmare for her to crawl out of that hole. Um, if she can't make the image adjustment by the time Batman vs Superman comes out, it's going to cripple her appearance in Justice League and any chances of a Wonder Woman movie. Any other thoughts on this?
I mean, I think she has time. I think she has time to bulk up a
Yeah.
little bit, especially with this pushback. She definitely has a lot of time to make sure that she looks the part. As far as her acting goes, I think it's as much how the character is written into the script as it is her acting ability. I don't want them. I know there was a bunch of rumors before of changing Wonder Woman's background story and all of that. So hopefully she has a good script to work with.
All right. Next topic of discussion. I'm actually pretty stoked about this one. However, it's purely rumor status right now. A lot of people have been talking about James Sawyer Ford from Lost, uh, Mr. Josh Holloway playing the King of Atlantis, Aquaman.
I could
I
see
have
it.
some thoughts. What are you guys thinking?
I can
I,
see
I
it
mean,
too.
I think I could see it. Go ahead.
He probably doesn't get his own movie though. He's probably kind of like the member of the Justice League that's kind of like Hawkeye and Black Widow and the Avengers. That's kind of just there, doesn't have a humongous role. I don't think Aquaman gets his own movie.
Yeah, if
But
they made an
that's
Aquaman
weird to
movie,
me, though. Go ahead, Gary.
if they made an Aquaman movie and they messed it up in any way, Aquaman's just starting to claw himself back up into not a joke in every single conversation. If they make a movie and it's not good, he's done for again for another
Yeah.
however
But
many decades.
this is the
Rough.
only thing. Like, it's easy to give characters like Black Widow and Hawkeye a more passive role in a movie like the Avengers because they don't really have superpowers. So it's really easy to put them in the background on the screen because you want to see the Hulk punching giant fish robots and like Iron Man shooting missiles and stuff and Thor throwing his hammer and calling down the lightning. That's what you want to see. So it's easy to draw your attention to that. Aquaman is still kind of a badass. Also, if that panel from Justice League where he has those sharks jump up and eat a bunch of crap isn't in this movie, I'll walk out. I mean, I'll have to see it a second time, but on that second time, I'll walk out 100%.
Okay.
I've seen Josh Holloway play. I've watched all of Lost a number of times, and he just started in this new show called Intelligence that seems pretty good. I've watched about an episode of it, and I like him as an actor, and I think he looks the part of Aquaman. I think as long as they go like more of a injustice-y kind of a look with Aquaman's armor, or even like a look similar to what you guys see in this picture here with Aquaman, I think they can really he's such an interesting character with what they're doing, what they've done with him in the last couple years, that is a super rich topic that they can dive into and just milk for a lot of money, and it would be awesome. I mean, I really like the character of Aquaman. I really like what Jeff Johns has done to the character to bring him back and make him more relevant. And his first 20, 25 issues of Aquaman were awesome. But like you guys say, I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a major point. I think they have other plans in mind, and they're just not I mean, if they're not confident enough in Wonder Woman to sell as a movie, they're definitely not as confident as they can be in Aquaman. So it sucks, but it's the reality that we live in, that a lot of people aren't going to probably line up to watch a superhero that's main power is that he can cause sharks to bite stuff. Like, even though that's awesome, but
I feel
all
like
right.
if Marvel can make Thor work on screen, I feel like DC has to make Aquaman work. Because
I
they're
mean,
kind
that's
of in
true.
the same boat.
Thor's overtly badass. I mean, he
Yeah, but
throws
he
a
looks like a
giant hammer
goober in
and
the
calls down
comics. Like
lightning. You're a goober.
the helmet. Come on.
So
Yeah, but they made him look cool by dropping the helmet. That's pretty
Exactly,
easy.
that's what I'm saying. And they gave him a beard.
yeah, you guys say that, but I'm mad that he doesn't have that helmet on, because in the first couple scenes of the first Thor, when he has the helmet on, when he's going to that ceremony, he looks badass. Like, I'm like, wear that helmet. What are you gonna do if somebody hits you in the head? Get
Nick
a
is
concussion.
also upset that Gilbert Gottfried did not do the voice of Thor, to be fair. So.
You took from me my one joke that I have left in this world. I was gonna drop a Gilbert Godfrey reference on you later, like it would make your head spin, but it's gone now. It's ruined
It's too
forever.
late. You're done.
Okay. We'll
All right.
still we'll still allow it.
Yeah.
Next topic is actually kind of disappointing. I think everybody here's a little bit bummed out about it. So there was an announcement made a couple weeks or a couple days ago that Stan Lee was going to be appearing in an episode of Shield, and that was really cool. They said he wasn't going to make his normal cameo appearance where he's on the screen for like 5 or 6 seconds. He's going to be on there for and play a major role. And then they went ahead and they said that Stan Lee isn't going to make any cameo at all in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I just thought that was crazy. Um, Stan Lee has been in made a cameo in every single Marvel movie or Marvel-based property film that's came out since the first Spider-Man, I believe, right? First
X-Men.
first X-Men movie, yeah. So in tribute, or actually, we'll do that in a second. What do you guys feel about this? How's your heartstrings being pulled here?
I mean, I read somewhere earlier that Stan Lee had said that the reason he wasn't going to be in this movie is because he didn't have a hand in creating the Guardians of the Galaxy. So there is that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to feel right not seeing him somewhere in the movie.
It's a little disappointing, but like you said, he didn't create the characters, and he actually said in an interview that he didn't even know who the characters were. Like, he didn't even know most of the characters. So he said he was excited for the movie, but he didn't really know the characters and felt he wouldn't fit in the movie. I mean, he could still be in there. It's a Marvel movie. They could put him in there for 5 seconds. I don't know if that was his decision or somebody else's, but if it was his decision, I respect it. If it was not his decision, then fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Straight up.
I don't know. He's one of the most exciting parts of every Marvel film. It's just that Stan Lee cameo. You spot it, you're like, there he is. You laugh, it's awesome.
He's
I
the
mean,
Where's Waldo of
his
the Marvel
cameo in the
Cinematic
Amazing
Universe.
Spider-Man is probably one of the best scenes in that film.
Definitely.
And I feel
Well,
like like his cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't even imagine how awesome it would be.
I think that we have prepared a list of our favorite Stan Lee cameos. And
I have a list,
okay,
a kind of list. The first one we have on the screen is his second cameo, but it was his first cameo in a movie that was in the theaters. Was the first X-Men film, and Nick has claimed that that is his favorite cameo. So I'll let him talk about why it is.
to be honest, I really just like the fact that at that point in time, there there wasn't this widespread awareness of Stan Lee and who he was. So I remember being a teenager in when that movie came out and going, "Oh shit, I know who that guy is. That's awesome!" Like they just threw him in there. That's really cool. And I also liked the fact that it was preceded by a super hot scene of Senator Kelly getting naked out of that water. All white and middle aged and veiny. Yeah.
That-
Like I like my
Nothing like that.
coffee.
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Let's see what we have here. Okay, another one of my favorite ones. I have like 12. I couldn't decide on one.
You get one.
The inspirational speech that he gives, the little talk he has with Peter Parker on the streets of New York in Spider-Man 3, I thought was a really great cameo. What do you guys think about that? Was it memorable, or did you guys like it?
I mean, that one's probably the most memorable because I think it might be like the only one where Stan really has any length of like a speaking part. And I guess Stan obviously has the most connection to Spider-Man. So that's one of my favorites. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites.
Okay.
I actually just changed what my favorite Stan Lee cameo is,
Is-
and I don't I'm pretty sure no one's picked this, even though I wasn't there for the discussion. But I just decided that my favorite Stan Lee cameo isn't in a Marvel film. It's in Mallrats
yeah,
when
Shut
he's when he's talking to Jason Lee's character. That I thought that was really cool.
that is a great scene.
Who picked the Iron Man cameo?
That was me too. I mean, it's hilarious. They're just
Oh, you
like,
just get multiple?
It's a solid
yeah,
cameo.
I picked like 7. This is
All right, well,
another
we
one
don't
of my
have time for
favorites.
7
Okay,
cameos.
I'm gonna go through all of
Yes.
them real quick. I mean, he's
That
Hugh Hefner
chick
in
might
this
be my
one.
favorite cameo in this movie.
Which one?
I'm just
One on the right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go through all the pictures, and I won't say anything about them, and then I'll get to Chris and Jordan's favorite, which I just brought up, so you guys can talk about how awesome it is.
Jordan, I'll let you go first.
I mean, everything about that scene is awesome, pretty much. I love that you hear the music that Stanley's listening to, and you just see the Lizard and Spider-Man fighting in the background. He's completely unaware. It's brilliant, and that's why I love it.
Boom, and it's even moving. Like, look at this technology that we've harnessed.
Again, donate to
like-
Deadpool. We can make
that-
all kinds of crazy things happen.
Stanley almost dies. Like,
Spider-Man just saved his life.
No, that scene, I think, captures, I think, a lot of the spirit of the Spider-Man comics. It's a very fun scene. That's even kind of funny, and someone's life also just happens to be on the line. You see Spider-Man struggling in the background, and they give you a reason to laugh, even though his life is very clearly at risk here. I like it. I didn't even think about this, until you started to scroll through. I actually really like, in the original Hulk movie, the one with Eric Bana, that's a solid cameo also, because it includes Stanley and Lou Ferrigno. You get a double.
Yeah.
Get a for him. That's a solid cameo. It's not really as funny or as, I guess, as cute as this one, but
I forget about that one because I tend to forget about that movie.
Yeah.
it was so almost good.
It was very close to being a
All
good
right.
movie.
So we're at about the halfway point now. So we'll take this next couple minutes to discuss with you guys some new projects that we're going to be working on here on the Legends Comicast to hopefully dedicate, free up a little bit of time because every Thursday we typically
Decided we
tend
need
to
a couple of trademarks, so we're gonna get a few more.
we we end up running into a scenario where there's so much comic book news and so many different aspects that we want to discuss that we really spread ourselves really thin when it comes to the comic book podcast. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to make a lot of little miniature videos to really do a couple things, mostly to get some of the topics out there that we want to discuss, like out in the open, build a little bit of and then also maybe just to attract some different people that are out there listening. So we're gonna be posting a lot more YouTube videos. So you guys are gonna see a lot more videos out there. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to make a cheap green screen to be able to do cool stuff. So hopefully we're gonna up the production values of the old Legends comic book podcast here. And if you guys have any ideas of things that you'd like us to do, or anything that has to do with YouTube, making videos, provide news, let us know. Give us a shout out in the comment section or over here in the chat, and give us some advice. It'll be pretty cool to see what ideas other people come up with because we're not idea men. We're more going guns blazing and pretty much screw up everything and then rebuild. So that's what we're good at. If you guys have some cool ideas, let us know. We'll try to make anything that we find to be cool a reality, and then we'll lie and say that we invented it. So that's really the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have anything you want to add to the old Legends Comic Book Podcast YouTube channel of enlightenment and wonder?
I'd just like to mention that we should be starting weekly reviews of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Arrow. So I want to try and get an Arrow video up tomorrow, but we'll see if that happens or not. But we'll have one up before the next episode airs.
One of us will have to officially start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. Have we considered that?
Jordan watches it.
I have not missed an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Get right.
Since Jordan is the newest member, he was actually nominated to have to do that as punishment.
He didn't want to.
It's hazing for him.
Can I also mention that I don't always wear white fuzzy boots? I don't know where you pulled that picture from, but
I don't know who you think you are putting that on the screen.
I just wanted to be known that that's not my normal attire.
It's oddly
It was the only thing I could find of you wearing nerd attire.
You're rocking it, okay? I'm wearing a Snuggie, let's be real.
Yeah,
And that Chris Bird Beatles haircut is pretty strong.
Yeah, thanks for choosing the one photo where I let a friend, who at the time was medicated, cut my hair because they said they'd do a great job and they lied to me.
They just put a ball on your head and just around
They didn't even do that. At one point, they said the word "oops," and I was like, "Oh,
well,
fuck."
don't worry, girls. You're all pretty, so."
Thank you.
All right.
Garrett Gilmore, by the way, this is his last podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So
back to our comic book discussion. That was pretty cool, like a little brief segue there. So gives you guys something to look forward to because, I mean, I don't think you guys get enough of us just once a week. You guys should be getting 2, 3, 4, 5 doses of the Legends Comic Book Podcast a week. Next topic for discussion is comic book weddings. Yeah, we're going there. We're going to discuss it today because a couple weeks ago they announced that Deadpool, the Merc with the Mouth, is going to be getting married. And I'm going to stop talking now for a couple minutes, and I'll let you guys just take it from here.
I don't have much to say on this topic. I'm not a big fan of comic book weddings, but I hope he gets married to Gilbert Gottfried, just for you.
I mean, I will say that I'm not a humongous fan of comic book weddings either, especially when it's a character that hasn't really had any kind of like romantic build-up. A lot of times I feel like when there's not anything particularly cool going on in the universe, all of a sudden somebody gets married and it's just to bring in attention. So I'm not a humongous fan of it, especially when it's a character like Deadpool that's pretty much just an attention-grabbing character anymore,
right,
as he is.
And I think that's how I feel like sometimes they're actually super tasteful. Like, obviously, Superman and Lois Lane, there was decades of buildup leading to that wedding, and so it's a big moment, and it deserves to be in a comic book. And then other times, like when Doctor Octopus marries Aunt May, in Spider-Man, like that,
Classic wedding.
just yeah, it's just a freaking super bizarre plot twist of trying to get someone to read. And I think Deadpool these days just is that plot twist. I think that's really all the Marvel Universe lets him do. Um, so I'm not surprised